Please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Vidi Astuti Sethiningsi from Department of Food and Agricultural Product Technology, Faculty of Agricultural Technology, Gadjah Mada University, Indonesia. And she will cover about emerging food safety concerns and regulation in Indonesia. Welcome on the stage, please.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to attend this forum. I'm very pleased to be here. My name is Widya Stuti Sethiningsi. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Food and Agricultural Product Technology, Faculty of Agricultural Technology, Universitas Gadjah Mada in Indonesia. And thank you attending my talk today that I will be discussing about the role of laboratories in ensuring food safety, challenges and opportunities in Indonesia. In keeping with the information provided by Dr. Woyarapa that food safety is the critical issue that could impact the public health, food security and also international trade. To ensure that the food product comply the safety standard, we must need the only way to achieve is to have the food safety monitoring done by the competent laboratories. So within my talk, I will explore the effort of Indonesian to strengthen the food safety laboratories. And my presentation is complying the index as follows. First and foremost will be the introductions about the overview of food safety regulations in Indonesia, the current state for food safety within the country, and then the role of the laboratories in food safety. Follow with the laboratory infrastructure in Indonesia, and then national project to strengthen laboratory capacity. I will also disclose the key ongoing project, the collaboration with universities, research institutes, as well as public-private partnerships. And finally, I will propose with some outcome for the challenge we move forward by providing the future directions and recommendations. So, Indonesia food safety framework built in a robust regulatory based on several important regulations. And the foundation of this regulation is based on the law number 18 in 2012 on food, as well as the government regulations number 86 2019 about the food safety. These ensure the food safety for the food product that comply not only safety but also quality and nutritional standards. The Indonesia FDA that we known as BPOM made update regulations. The newest one this year, number 4, is this to govern the certification for household processed food to ensure that the food product produced in Indonesia must comply the good manufacturing practices and also food safety risk management, and also performing the testing for chemical contaminations. The other regulations like number 22 in 23 in year of 2023, it's mandate that all processed food in Indonesia must be registered before it being sold. And the Indonesian government is currently strengthening the food safety monitoring by performing the efficient product registration to the single submission online single submission systems. However, despite of this advancement, challenges remains. In particularly in enforcing the small producers to follow all these regulations. The other challenge is also due to the how to have the consistent monitoring for the food safety in the very vast Indonesian geography. The other challenge is due to the advancement in food science, technology, and also innovation, where we create a new food. And this lead to a need for new regulations and also new food categories. And this should cover the use of new food additive, the measurement of residue level of processing aid, the contamination limit, and also nutrition claims and informations. To address this issue, the Indonesian FDA have already updated their regulations in last year for number 13, 2023, to set the standard for the safety, nutrition, quality, and also labeling food in Indonesia. And reliable laboratories are strongly needed to support the implementation of all these regulations to ensure the food safety for our food product. Thus, the effective food safety surveillance will be the important approach, and this require the involvement of the specialized laboratory that able to identify and quantify the contaminant in food products. For instance, the contamination from mycotoxin, including aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are naturally occurring compounds that are produced from the mold Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. These fungi may produce different concentrations of the toxin in different time and places, providing a detrimental effect, the negative effect for human health. The regulation on the maximum aflatoxin in food based on the Indonesian FDA permit not exceed than, for instance, 0.5 ppb in baby food. Even though the level of this toxin is very low in the concentrations, however, the effect is providing the detrimental negative effect for the human health. Therefore, the needs for the laboratory that could conduct analysis with the advanced technology, for instance, for the morphological identifications, molecular detections, and also chromatography analysis is strongly needed. In our reported project, together with Dr. Warapa, we are having the surveillance for the frequency of fungal general detected in dried and powdered chili from traditional and modern market. And we found that there are more contamination in traditional market. We found 5 genera for the mold in the traditional market, while only 3 genera found in the modern market. And from this research, it is revealed that the Aspergillus, mainly Parasiticus and Flavus, is the predominant mold that contaminate the chili products. And for the analysis for the contaminations level of the chili range for the aflatoxin B1 and B2 ranging from 2 to more than 100 ppb, and also we found there is contamination by the ochratoxin A. This report revealed also the multi-toxin contaminant, and this is very serious that we have to control for the safety. And the traditional market is more severe for these contaminations, and it is can be seen that there are also contamination not only aflatoxin but also ochratoxin that may provide synergetic toxicity that it is also not good for our health and for the consumer health. This indicate by the poor handling and also poor storage conditions and treatment. So that from this report we underscore that we need food safety monitoring, and this must be supported by the competent laboratories. In Indonesia, there are several key laboratories for the national reference laboratories, including the Indonesian FDA and private sector laboratories like Saraswati Indogenetic, Genetech, SIG, or Sukovindo that could provide the comprehensive testing services for food product, as well as university-based laboratories like those we have in Universitas Gadjah Mada and also in IPB universities and many others university in Indonesia. We support the food safety from our research mainly by developing new method for the analysis and validate before it can be used for routine analysis for the surveillance. And the lab is well equipped with various techniques for the extraction as well as for identification and quantifications for the contaminant. It utilizes the chromatography, spectroscopy, and many other techniques. However, the availability of this instrument, the advanced technology is varied among the laboratories, and one laboratories is with limited for some aspect, but the other have very strong, well-equipped instruments. So collaborations is a good option. It is the best option to strengthen the analytical capabilities of the laboratory. The example of the collaboration among our key laboratories is like the Sikumbang ABG program. ABG stands for A is for the academic, B is business, and G is for government program. It include many universities, private sector laboratories, as well as laboratory at the university to enhance the collaboration in the development of reference standards for drug or food testing. And currently, only 60% of reference standard can be provided by the country. So the collaboration to develop reference standard could reduce the reliance for the costly import and also increase the capacity for the testing. As I'm an analytical chemist, mainly my work is related to the development of new method, and then I validate the method before it can be used for food safety monitoring. And I actively support the collaborations with, for instance, the National Reference Laboratory. We have successfully developed the new FTIR method combined with chemometric data analysis for determining aflatoxin in peanuts. This method provides advantage over the traditional chromatographic technique due to faster and more practical and using no solvent. So it supports the green chemistry. The method have been validated against the result produced by the high performance liquid chromatography with fluorescence detector, and it's reaching the low limit of detections with high precision and accuracy. Then the method have been applied to monitor the level of contaminations for the mycotoxin in peanut, and we found that from 20 samples from different cities in Indonesia, there are four samples contaminated by the mycotoxin, and the peanut without shell and testa is more severe for the contaminations. The other project with the national FDA is the development and validations of HPLC DAD method for simultaneous determination of 7 food additive and caffeine in powder drinks. So with this method, the FDA will not do separately analysis for the colorant, for the preservative, and for other additive, but it can be done in a single running to check all the additive in the powder drinks. applying the chemometric, we could separate 8 compounds in less than 16 minutes. The full separation with very high precision and accuracy. And we apply checking 9 different brand of the powder drinks, and the level of the additive and also the caffeine containing in that product is in the safe limit permitted by our regulatory standards. However, we also find the caffeine in the product that is based on the tea derivative product, even though the producer doesn't list it in the label as the ingredient. So the method, this is indicate that the method can be used and for the monitoring for the food additives and caffeine in powder drinks. The collaboration with the private sector like the SIG, we have just developed and validated the method for the dithiocarbamat pesticide residue analysis for potato using gas chromatography. And the method principle is to convert the dithiocarbamat into the carbon disulfide and then follow with the identification using the GCMS. The method reach high repeatability with coefficient of variation less than 7.5 and the accuracy ranging from 76 to 90%. And the ongoing project with the Indonesian FDA is to develop the ultrasound-assisted dispersive liquid-liquid micro-extraction for 8 psychoactive substances. This is the drug that sometimes used to abuse, and it can be present in hard candy. So we developed and optimized the method for the ultrasound-assisted extractions, including the disperser solvent, extraction solvent, and other factors, and reaching a full separation for all the compounds and having the good repeatability, less than 15% for the analytical extractions, and the accuracy up to 109%. The other ongoing project is with the Ministry of Finance, the Directorate General of Customs and Excise. We developed the ATR FTIR chemometric method for simultaneous sugar profile in high fructose syrup. This method is having more advantage than the traditional method like chromatography, because in the customs in Indonesia, the price for the high fructose syrup is different when the profile is different. And with the rapid determination, the decision can be made faster. And this also can use for the food safety monitoring, because the sucrose that normally adulterant the high fructose syrup can be easily detected. And to close the presentation, following is the future direction and recommendations. The first one is the capacity building to modernize lab with advanced technology, ongoing training for the lab personnel or new method, and develop the rapid real-time testing system that is very important for in the industry, and also the on-site surveillance. Then to establish the global center of excellence in food safety, develop a national or even international food safety strategy, promote sustainable contaminant-free food productions. The other attempt is to enhance collaborations, strengthen public-private partnership, increase regional cooperation with the ASEAN harmonizations, and expand international collaboration with the World Health Organization or Food and Agricultural Organizations. Finally, support from government, industry, and academia is essential for advancing food safety standards. So together, we can strengthen not only in Indonesia, but also Thailand, ASEAN, or even global food safety system. Thank you.